No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. We're back. Now, first off, I don't even know how to introduce this man, right? I just call him Big Homie.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, I mean philanthropist,
Thank you.
philosopher, technologist, academic. What do you call yourself, man?
I just say I'm a businessman.
Yes.
You know, at the end of the day, we need it all to add up to dollars.
Yes.
So I'm a businessman first and foremost. I also lead the Assassin, you dig, and we can get into that. But people call me many things. They call me Stephen A. Pimp. They call me Fax Kellerman.
Man, suck that ish,
You know what I'm saying? They call me the bald head lover.
Uh-huh.
They call me the idol of James Bond.
Yes.
Some people just call me Marquett Devon, the saint in the center.
That's a fact, man. Right. So for this interview, do you mind if I just call you Big Homie?
Let's go.
All right, man, perfect, man. Now, somebody told me something about you, right? Where they say, yo, listen. If
this is somebody who knows me or a fan?
A fan, right? He said like 3,000 years ago.
Okay.
If the Big Homie existed 3,000 years ago,
yeah,
and he'll be the Mansa Musa, the Attila the Hun, right? Meaning they're just certain people where like they're like conquerors, right? Meaning like they just have a level of intellect, work ethic, and appetite of power. Now, the third thing is where I can't really speak on because I don't know your exact appetite for power, right? But like that formula usually exists in people like who are conquerors, right? So right now, obviously, like you like can't conquer land no more since like niggas got like nukes now, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's still conquerors in businesses, you know, like let's say like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, right?
Sure.
So what do you feel about that assessment? If you existed 3,000 years ago, you will be like a Mansa Musa, Attila the Hun conqueror.
I think that makes sense, and I'd even throw Marcus Aurelius in there because you know he was a philosopher king. And as we can see, I'm the warrior king of this YouTube thing. You dig? I got to correct a lot of game out here. I'm taking a red pen to the game. But the number one thing to conquer today is the mind. And we're in a fascinating era wherein, look at great leaders like, say, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. During his lifetime, he didn't really get to see Islam spread in the way it's spread today, now the fastest growing religion, right? Now we're in an era where your philosophies, your ideas can cross borders instantaneously. You have an opportunity to spread ideas, and we're in cultural war. So I'm really trying to kick out this ism because the world is in need. We see a lot of moral decay. We see a lot of things that need repair. And the world's always in need of leadership. So yes, absolutely, we're going to be Julius Caesar of this thing. And as you can tell from the way I've conducted myself on and off camera, when people want to play games, if it was that time, I'd probably have their heads on a spear in my front yard. You heard me? Had a head on my dinner table dipping breadsticks in their eye sockets. You did?
Nah, that's a fact. No, because I seen you boxing too, man. I was like, well, hold up now, bro. Like, how does somebody get crafted like this, bro? Like, smart as hell, right? Articulate, well put together. Like, and then you, like, are physical beasts as well. Like, you can fight. How? Like, is it just severe training, preparation, or like was you just naturally gifted these skills, man?
Very few human beings are naturally gifted anything.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
You know, I'm certainly not a LeBron size. Pretty much normal size black guy, right? But you know, you can read my whole story in the black box.
Yeah.
But you know, I was born into a fairly harsh environment, and I went through real things. And so when you learn how to thrive in that environment and then you're intelligent enough to be able to get out of that environment and you learn how to move and shake in different economic strata, you really have to be the complete man. And one thing my grandmother told me, who grew up picking cotton, who stopped schooling in the 3rd grade, you heard me? So you make it up out of Lone Oak, Arkansas under Jim Crow, like you different.
Yeah.
And she told me, she says, look, I don't care about your feelings. The world doesn't care about your feelings. If you want to win as a black man, you have to outperform and work 3 times harder than a white man. Whether that's true or not, that's what I was raised on, which is nobody cares about your story. Let's get this work in. And I always knew that I deserved great things, and I was the poorest kid in the hood, right? So when I looked around...
That's different.
Bruh!
Being the poorest among poor niggas is different.
Yeah, when everybody had a bike, I had to run along their bike. You dig?
That's different.
That creates a different kind of hunger in you. Also teaches you about human nature, because when I was running along on their bike, nobody stopped like, hey, man, you want to give my bike a try? Like, I see you don't have a bike. So I had a very different mentality. One, it made me a little bit more empathetic, made me respect people who don't have. but it also made me a beast that wanted to go get it. And then also growing up in a harsh environment, you know, if you don't throw hands, what you doing out here? You're going to be a victim out here. You heard me?
As a fact.
Yeah. So, yeah, I throw hands in the boxing ring, but I've also thrown a lot of hands before I ever made it to the boxing ring. And that's why I tell these cats, like, bruh, like, you could look at the Velvet pimping. You heard me? You could look at the mariachi pimping. Yeah. And sure, I'm your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber, but at the end of the day, don't play games with me, little homie. Don't mention my name on your video.
That's true. Yo, trust me, we gonna get into all the foolery, right, regarding that, right?
In a real way.
But, like, speak on DNA, though, man, because, like, again, like, I've always been fascinated, right, by just great people, right? Because I be trying to figure out, man, like, so are your parents, like, as high IQ as you, or, like, how does that work?
That's a really good question. If I could say I got anything from my lineage that was an advantage, my father's a very brave man. My father was a drug dealer, a dealer in hard drugs. He did a lot of time behind that, but he was always the most popular guy in the neighborhood. He was built like a bodybuilder. He used to lift heavy, and you know, he was a real goon. He put his work in, so his name rings bells in his neighborhood, and I got that same fire in me. In terms of my mother, I can't identify many traits that I got from her probably genetically, but in terms of watching her operate, one thing about my mother, she's not a lettered woman, you know, not an extraordinary intellect, but she's a very humble individual, and she's the kind of person that if she doesn't know, she's going to ask the question. And when she needs to make something happen, she's willing to ask anybody for help and put together a team to get the job done. Helped me a lot in business as a CEO, realizing that you don't have to know how to do everything. You have to know how to get everything done. And then the last thing, a lot of people might, at least YouTube people might find, viewers might find me to be abrasive, or they might use a term like arrogant, but, and this may be true, but one thing that I'm always humble about is if you hire me to be your janitor, I'm gonna clean them damn floors. You heard me? I'm gonna clean the hell out them floors. And everybody who comes in, yes, sir, no, sir. And I'm gonna act in the capacity of a servant because I respect hierarchy. And wherever I may fall in a hierarchy, I'm gonna play that role. And that's a problem. A lot of people, especially nowadays, they get outside their mind about where they really stand in life. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I try to keep my feet planted on the ground and deal with what's real. Like when I came in your studio, truth be told, I don't ever like to be searched by anybody but your security guy. I respect the fact that he's providing security, you know? Yeah, hey, whatever you said, do, absolutely. I come in, I want to meet all of your staff. Not that I might ever see them again, or, you know, or there's any relevance.
You definitely will see them again.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I came in their space, you know, and so I always want to conduct myself with that level of respect. And I tell people, when you leave, be a cool breeze to people. You know, they should be like, man, I wish that guy was around. That guy was real cool people. So that's how I try to get it in. And at the end of the day, be remarkable. So leave a mark. And if people want to act crazy, leave a scar.
Yeah, man. Now, let's actually dive deeper into your background, right? Before, you know, like we move forward. Now, growing up in the hood really early on, did you know, like, yo, I was going to go to John Hopkins. I was going to, you know, dive deeper, you know, into the education. Did you know that education was going to be, like, what takes you out?
Look, I'm going to keep it a bean with you, man. When I was, so one, I was fortunate in that, you know, science suggests that IQ is pretty much fixed, right? It doesn't really change. So I was fortunate in that I was blessed with IQ. And I know this because when I was in the third grade, I took a IQ test, the Gifted and Talented Education test in California. And so I was put into accelerated courses as a result. So I knew that was there. But when you're in a broken family and your family basically are criminals, unrepentant criminals, you heard me like, hey, you tried to get a 9 to 5. So that's pretty much all I knew. I can't say that I knew anyone personally that I was like, wow, this person's really bright, or someone who was in a proper professional job where they were earning well and happy and living well. So I engaged in you know, crime all the way up until a point where I figured out I was despicable. But I say that to say this: when I was in high school, which I would go to inconsistently and late, and I mostly went there to socialize. The average black kid in the hood.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was also hustling his ass off. And then at some point, they have this time where your high school counselor comes around. And this is back in the day. So she had this big book with all your grades up to that point. And She would sit outside the classroom. I was in English class, and she'd call out each student one by one. Mm-hmm. And then she called me out, and you sit down with her, and she'll go through your grades and say, these are the collection of universities you can apply to, like the tiers.
Yeah.
Cal State, UC, private, what have you. And she opened up the book, and she went to my grades and went across the book with her fingers and then looked at me, a little Asian woman named Coco. And she said, why do you even come to school?
Wow.
And I was waiting for her to like proceed with the meeting, but for her, it was like over. It was like, I looked at your grades, like, why do you even show up here?
Yeah.
She didn't even have to say like, you know.
None.
And so the summary of that was, these were her exact words.
Yeah.
I remember these two sentences verbatim. Why do you even come to school? And number two, there is no college that will take you.
Wow.
Now, it was funny because at the time I wasn't thinking about going to college, but I was going through the process everyone else was going through at this time, like come out, sit down with her, and it was just really bad news. And I was like, damn. And ironically, I'd gotten into a situation at the high school. Basically, people were like, had my name and the homie's name, and the homie's a gangster.
Yeah.
I'd never been a gang member. The homie's a gang member. You heard me? Yeah, an active one, right?
Yeah, real one.
So long story short, we had set up a situation and beat the snot out these people who was running their mouth. And I end up in the teacher's lounge. I guess they were talking about, like, this kid Marquett, why is he still here? He needs to be kicked out.
Yeah.
And there was a new teacher that had just came to the school to teach math as a substitute teacher. And she kept hearing the name Marquett, which is a unique name.
Yeah.
And then I also worked at an after-school program as a cover for my mother to say, like, this is where I'm getting my money from.
Yeah.
It was a nice job. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, worked at an after-school program. So anyways, I went to the after-school program after school, and this woman comes over to pick up her kids, black woman. And I was raised in part by a Southerner because my mother ended up on crack cocaine. So when she abandoned me and my father was in the pen doing 10, I had to go live with my grandmother. Okay. Right? So she's a Southerner. Yes, sir. No, sir. Very polite. So when this woman came to pick up her kids, I said, hi, I'm Marquett. Nice to meet you. And she says, oh, Marquett, I heard about you. I said, yeah, I'm a legend out here. When I tell you I was a nut as a kid, like,
savage.
Your boy was a nut, bro.
Savage.
I was like, yeah, I'm a legend out here. And she was like, no, they were talking about you in the teacher's lounge. You know, one teacher was saying you're the dumbest kid she's ever had in her class.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. And she was like, and another teacher.
Messed up.
Yeah. And another teacher was saying you're the smartest kid in the state based on your scores. Yeah. She says, you know what, I can help you. I said, yeah, I'm not looking for help. Yeah. She was like, no, you need help though. She was like, yeah, my daughter, I'm not gonna say the girl's name, so my daughter so-and-so goes to Mayfield, which was like I don't know if it's all girls or co-ed, but a very well-to-do private school. Yeah. She's really smart, and she's gonna take the high school exit exam. If you're as smart as they say you are, you should be able to take it and pass no problem. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, shorty, like, ain't nobody, who are you? I don't even know you.
I know. I'm saving grace now, though, but yeah.
And then so she literally said, give me your number. I was like, nah, I'm good. She was like, give me your number. I was like, ma'am, I don't even know you. She was like, I'm not going to leave till you give me your number, and I'm going to have you take this exam, and you're going to get out of this school because this school is bad for you, or you're bad for this school. Long story short, I ended up taking the high school proficiency exam, which was funny because her daughter didn't pass.
Wow.
I passed, but her daughter didn't pass, which is funny, but, you know, that's how it happens.
Pretty expected, though, right? Privileged kids usually like you know.
I didn't really know any privileged kids. Though. Yeah. You know, like, honestly, you know, I was just a kid from the hood. Right? I didn't know much, hadn't seen much, and so I was shocked when her daughter didn't pass, and I was also shocked when I passed. Yeah. Because at that, based on your experience in life up to then, though I might have had higher IQ than my peers, I was still there with them in the ghetto. Yeah. I was still going through the same things, committing the same crimes, having the same life experience. I viewed myself as the same. Yeah. And I was probably worse than most of them, truth be told. So anyways, once I passed that exam, the woman called me up straight away. And the funny thing is, my homie right here, he was there too. Like, yeah, we go way back. You dig, like an old man hairline. So he was there for the whole process. And anything I eever say, there's a difference between me and these guys on the internet is you can always check. Like,
of course.
This is a fee issue.
Of course.
You hear me? If he mentions something, oh, here's the court case. So in this case, she called me up and said, hey, you passed the exam. And then I actually got scared. Like, oh, dang. Like, now I got to go forward. Yeah. She said, you don't have to go to high school anymore.
What?
Which tripped me out because I was 16 and my mom had been harassing me every day, like, hey, you gotta go to school. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what you mean I don't have to go? She was like, you passed. Yeah. You don't have to go. You done. This is like a diploma.
Oh, wow.
And so I was 16. I was like, damn, I could really start hustling now. Like, you heard me? I could murder the block now. She was like, look, I'm going to come get you and I'm going to tell you what you're about to do. We're about to go to Pasadena City College. Yeah. We're going to double enroll you. We had to get special permission for her to double enroll me. She was like, you're a young kid. You get into a lot of trouble when you got spare time. We're going to enroll you in 24 credit hours, which is twice as much. And she was like, and we're going to get you out of here within 1 year. You're going to do 2 years in 1 year. Wow. She was like, because you must be smart. And if you work hard and do what I tell you to do, you're going to be straight. And honestly, I was kind of like, oh, man. But she was thugging me out so hard. It's like I wasn't even trying to work with her, but she was just making it. Black woman. What? Yeah, right. In a real way. And a lot of women have shown me love. Yeah. That's why when I come on, I don't ever do the thing. A lot of these guys are actual misogynists.
Absolutely.
People use the term errantly, but a lot of these guys who are speaking and have a following are actually misogynists. Yeah. Boy, I love women. They love me. They've done me well.
Yeah, not facts.
So in short, I keep committing crime, right? Yeah. Like I'm still doing what I was doing. And then there was one point at which I ran this mission with the homies and I'm not going to say what happened. It's in my book. It's not something I'm proud of. But long story short, we ran this mission. Yeah. And at the end of the mission, I was like, damn, like I'm a despicable person for having been a part of what we just did. Yeah. I was like, I got to change my life. I can't keep doing this. And in my book, you can read like exactly what happened. But at that point, I was like, all right, I'm going to do what she's telling me to do. Yeah. Because all I got to do is follow directions. I could do that. I did that, got a damn near perfect score on the SAT, and I'm black. You heard me?
Damn, on the SAT too?
Yeah. I got a damn near perfect score on the SAT, had like a 3.9 GPA, and I'm black. So it was like, I pretty much go wherever I want to go.
Of course.
So, but I was a hood kid, so I'd never been anywhere. Yeah. So I got into schools that I probably should have went to because they were higher ranking than Berkeley, but I didn't want to go too far. I actually wanted to go to UCLA because it was what I was familiar with. I'm an LA kid. Oh,
really, UCLA?
UCLA, right? Yeah. But Mrs. Smith was smart. She said, you know what? You go to UCLA, you're, in her terms, your hood rat gang member friends are going to be over there.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and they're going to fuck you. Excuse me, they're going to mess
fuck you up.
Yeah, that's a fact. They're going to mess you up. She was like, so we're going to send you up to Berkeley. Mm-hmm. I went up there sight unseen, never visited it. It was, first day, time to go to school. I went up there.
Dominated.
And, did my thing. Yeah. Had a good time, learned a new world, and, I was off to the races.
Man, cause we're like the opposite, right? So like I was the kid where my parents also like a proposition to school to have me take the IQ test, right? Okay. Cause I was somebody who got great grades. I'm talking about great grades, right? But they sort of equated a kid who tried hard and overachieved to intelligence.
You're diligent.
Yeah. So when I took it though, guess my score? A 95, right? Okay. So right, but I think the cutoff was like 125 for like the gifted program, which I did not make it, right? But like I always say this though, right? Mm-hmm. If God made me about 15 to 20 IQs higher, I would have been a dropout. I would, right? Because it gets boring once you know too much, right? Like if I know a lot, if I know that I'm just smarter than everybody else, how do I go to class and have a stupid ass teacher teach me something, right? Right, like, so for you, it's kind of like, damn, like that's actually like a really big deal that you actually like say, you know what, bro, I'm putting this shit on pause. I'm gonna now try hard because high IQ, most people with high IQ don't really have a strong work ethic because things just come easy. But once they do, I guess, grow that strong work ethic, they end up like you, man, where now you're like just killing shit, right? Now, once you guess passed through, like through Berkeley, Johns Hopkins. Sure. Now, when did you say, well, first off, what was the first company you started before content creating?
Shoot, bruh. I've done a lot, and one thing I always remind people of is that you only got to win one time.
Absolutely.
You feel me? You only got to win one time. You heard
Absolutely,
me?
One hit.
Yeah. I got a lot I can name, but the first legitimate business that I did that had the potential to pass the $1 million mark was a company called Hobby Buddy. It was a tech company, but I didn't know anything. Yeah. I took a political science degree at Berkeley. I took a degree in education with a focus on instructional technology at Johns Hopkins University. So I didn't really know much in general, right? And so I created this company, which for consumer-facing, consumers really liked it. Investors wouldn't back it, one, in part because I didn't have the proper background. And most importantly, I didn't have a proper business model. Revenue model wasn't there. The dollars weren't coming in. Investors will invest in you no matter what color you are, as long as you can turn things green. So I learned a lot, and that was like taking an MBA. And a lot of people ask me, Marquett, should I go back to university, get a business degree, or do X, Y, and Z? I'm like, no. They let me give lectures at top MBA programs. Chicago Booth, all that. Yeah, I've been there. I've given lectures there, and I don't have an MBA. Because most of what you're learning there, you're doing case studies on Fortune 500 companies. Right? Like, you're learning how to be a good C-suite employee.
A worker.
Yeah, precisely. So Hobby Buddy was my favorite first company because it was started from joy and passion. I was sophomoric, and it was a great education. And from there, man, you know, we got it going.
Yo, listen, talk that ish, man. What company made you the first level of some type of wealth?
The first one is a little known company, and what people don't realize is when you're dealing with private companies, and B, you're dealing with acquisitions. Often these things are not talked about in the public for good reason. Sometimes an acquiring company will buy your company to kill it. Sometimes they'll buy it to innovate within their company, but sometimes they buy it to kill it. Long story short, I at the same time, and there's a guy with a genius IQ who he was asked, you know, what do you do when you have two good opportunities and you can't tell which way to go with a fork in the road? He said, go down both sides. So I'm running a company that at the time had been renamed to Fletch, which was doing really well for me. Taking me around the world, doing really well for me. Then I had an idea, which I thought was a stroke of genius, because when I was in South Korea, I went to South Korea to open an office in Pangyo. And so, and doing a lot of other things there. It was lovely. I had the finest Korean teacher you ever wanted to see. You heard me? Oh, Lord, jeez, I'm still mad about it.
Fine as hell, probably.
Lord. But anyways, when I was there, I realized, one, that Americans don't have the fastest internet in the world. Americans are overpaying for their internet. You know, we're talking about our broadband, DSL, cable internet, all that stuff. We're overpaying. We don't have the fastest internet. I was like, how's that work out? That's unexpected. We're the most powerful, wealthiest country in the world. I was like, okay. So we have high prices. That means that there's when you do customer segmentation, there are portions of the market that can't afford high-speed internet or don't want to afford high-speed internet. And so I was thinking, like, how many of these customer segments are left in the dark, but it's a significant pool of money that can be accessed. So, for example, say you're looking at Comcast Cable, their beginner internet package, say it's like $40 a month. A low-income family might be able to afford $20 a month. And where do they live? They live in apartments generally, right? Tenements. And so long story short, what I did was this, because I currently was the CEO of a thriving technology company with investors and institutional investors, and some of which are founders of some of the biggest tech companies in the world, which I know you've personally used, everyone in this room has. But you cannot say, okay, I'm the CEO of this company. I'm also going to found another company and be CEO of that company at the same time. Your investors are going to get mad. Things are going to get shaky. Unless maybe you're Elon Musk, that's a whole different level. But what I did was I had a girlfriend I was dating at the time, a little, like, she grew up Mennonite, if you know what that is. Is a very religious Christian. She grew up like in rural Pennsylvania. Around the Amish.
Amish, wow.
Yeah. So she was like super off the grid, simple, good girl, pure. Follow directions too.
Pure.
So the direction was, I was like, shorty, we playing Simon Says. Guess who Simon is? Here go the plan and the script.
Follow it.
So I said, look, I'm going to start this company. You're going to be the CEO.
Oh, wow.
I'll be the CTO. And you'll be the top line person. I'll be the bottom line person. I'll be in the shadows, but I'll do everything. Every now and then I need you to go give a pitch or, X, Y, and Z. But I'm going to get all the business done.
Absolutely.
I also had, before that, opened an office for my tech company, Fletch, in northern Michigan. in a yachting community.
Yeah.
I met a good guy over there who's very cash liquid.
Yeah.
So I put some cash in. He put some cash in. We then went to New York, deployed this technology. It was called Why Not? WINOT.
Yeah.
Why Not? And the idea is like, why not share your Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Right? So you can share your Wi-Fi with your neighbor in the next door apartment, right?
Okay.
So what I was allowing you to do, if you're paying $40 a month for internet, now you're paying 20 because this person is paying you monthly and we're handling the billing.
Yeah,
so it's like a recurring amount of money sent to you and we just take our small cut.
Yeah.
$2-3.
Yeah.
We get the whole building. We got 200 people doing it. We're spending that around monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And guess how much infrastructure we needed? Almost none. We're
None.
just a payment processing platform, essentially. I'm not going to name any names, but there are a lot of large telco companies in South Korea where they have superior internet.
Yeah.
Which makes it better for sharing. And they also are into tenement living in South Korea. They don't have single family detached and sold, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is perfect for that environment.
Yeah.
So long story short, there's a large telco company that's, hey, I like what you're doing. Here's the number. We can talk about it, but not for long.
Yeah.
That's the number.
Shit, here, take it, man.
Throw 20% on top of it. And we call it a day. You take everything. You take everything. You want this jacket. You take everything.
Take it all, man.
So, did that deal. And, before we finished the deal, actually, Forbes ended up doing an article on the technology when we did our first deployment in New York.
Yeah.
And so we were getting popping. We closed the deal real quick, and then lights went out on everything. That's why you don't hear about it after that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
And so it's always funny to me on the internet when you hear people say, like, oh, so-and-so's not this or he ain't done that. I'm like, how many of your internet gurus who are teaching you, how many were in Forbes? Like, that's not a blog, my boy. Like, that's that's
actually Forbes, right?
Yeah, that's not a blog, my boy.
Yo, right? And why I asked that because I wanted the people to know who they're dealing with. Before we even dive into the content creator shit.
I appreciate that. Yes,
I
sir.
wanted them to know the caliber of human being we're dealing with, right? Because like when we talk about the content creation, they tend to box in content creators in like a certain, right?
Yeah.
And like judge them off their subs. But like we're dealing with a dude who made millions before even touching the fucking YouTube channel, right? So now let's transition into when did you say, yo, you know what? I'm about to start a YouTube channel and why? Because a lot of people will say that the big homie started a YouTube channel to start a cult and to kind of like, right? And to
I need
be
a
influential.
T-shirt. I'm a cult leader T-shirt.
Yeah.
I got a supervillain T-shirt. You did?
Yeah, man, come on.
I am the bad guy out here in a real way. But it gets
Speak
like
on
that. Well, number one,
Yeah.
it is no measure of good health to be well adjusted in a sick society. You dig?
Bro, that's a bar right there.
Yeah.
Wait. Say it again one time, bro. They missed it. They might have missed it.
It is no measure of good health
Yeah.
to be well adjusted in a sick society.
Man, that's a bar.
So, number one, there are a lot of cults going on that we don't appropriately address.
Yeah.
I grew up around one of them. West Side Denver Lane PDL.
Oh, wow, that's a gang, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds serious.
Yeah. They have a language.
Yeah.
Blood, I'm bigging back being boo, boking on the bing, blood.
Yeah.
Okay, they got a language. They have religious practices, including dances and songs. Sweet Daddy got dick. Sweet Daddy gets active. You heard me?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got their own little dances, kind of like when people catch the Holy Ghost in church. And they even have their armies, and they commit indiscriminate murder based on color.
Crime, yeah.
How often do we see the goofy African-American population call out that cult?
Like not at all.
And what do they teach you to do? Ride on the enemy, blood. Blood, I'm a bust on the crab. Blood, I'm active. Yeah. And they even have their own markings that go along with it. I got homies I didn't bring here on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
Homies I didn't tell that I'm back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a CK on their neck. They got people hood on their forehead, whacked out.
Yeah.
No, that's a dangerous cult.
Yes.
Then what do? Peep this. So I'm chilling with my folks last night. People in LA I grew up with.
Yeah.
They doing what people do. Hang out, you heard me, hop in the koozie, turn on the TV, watch the game, have some barbecue, have some drinks. I ain't touch a drop of alcohol. Yeah, we could call it a cult, I call it the assassin. You know, we don't engage in intoxicants. Why? Because it will destroy you.
Absolutely.
And I know for a fact it'll destroy you because I've seen it my whole life.
Yes.
Especially destroying people of color.
Yes.
Now that's number one. Then number two, when we woke up early. Hey, fellas, what y'all up to? Fantastic. Yo, suit up. We about to get this work in. 30 minutes of sweat every day. Exercise is prayer. Sweat is the holy water. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We going to nourish ourselves. We're going to get that exercise in. We got a 3-sentence Bible. Number one, be yourself.
Yes, sir.
Number two, be good to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Number three, be good to good people. Nowhere in what I share do I say, praise me or be like me. I tell you the opposite. Be like you. Figure out who you are. Be that. And show the best of who you are. You heard me? Now, only a wicked, evil, psychotic person could misunderstand a guy who says, don't drink alcohol, don't smoke cigarettes, mind your good health, be responsible, take good care of people. Oh, and by the way, let me help you figure out how to make $1.
Absolutely.
Because it turns out, like Wu-Tang told you, cream, cash rules everything around me.
Yes.
Last month, I sent out $13,000 to my fans. Not a handout, because I don't believe in handout. I believe in cold capitalism.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I taught them how to create products. I helped them with that process to get it all the way from ideation to market.
Yes.
And then if they needed a design, I gave them a design. Like these very shoes right here, I designed these shoes.
Those are sweet, man.
I appreciate you, Playboy.
Those are amazing.
And I let one of my fans, one of the saints, take this design as his own, and he sells it, and he makes the money.
Oh, wow. That's love.
And I've done that about 23 different times. You can go to thesassin.com, THESASN.com, and it'll say, Joe Blow, product. When you click buy, he gets the money.
Wow.
No one's doing that.
Absolutely not.
And most importantly, the biggest issue for, as they would call it, foundational Black Americans, shout out to Tariq, has been economic.
Yes.
And of the people who would purport to be leaders, what they usually do is, hey, donate to my school.
Yeah. Umar Johnson.
Hey, donate to my fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that said, here it is to you. Like, I'm not asking you to give to me. I'm giving it back to you.
Yes, absolutely.
And whatever you gave to me, you're going to get it back in spades.
Yes.
So I think that's a radically different thing. If people, I've never heard anyone say to me,
yeah,
like,
of course not.
You know, but you know, the saying the Center Nation, you dig,
you got hands.
or nothing.
Listen, you got hands, right? So they know, for me not to come to you with that fuck shit.
Yeah, and in real life, to be honest with you, I remember I was in the gym recently. It was funny. I'm hitting the heavy bag, and it was two guys lifting near me, and I think because they saw me hitting the heavy bag, they're talking about something that had happened to one of their partners. He got gunned down, and they're like, you know, that's some coward stuff, man. You should just fight it out, and you know, like you can't just go around shooting people. And in my head, I was like, I don't fight strangers.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming up, they'd air you out.
Absolutely.
You might win that fight and get aired out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you could die in the fight. If I don't know you, bruh.
Yeah, I'm good.
May God have mercy on both of us, because I'm going to go hard.
Yeah,
and that's why I tell my people, I said, be a serious man.
Yes.
Watch what you say. You don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about me. I'm saying in general. Yeah. You could be a complete psychopath. I don't want to find out. I'm going to be polite to you. I don't want to find out.
Absolutely.
You got black people who are so misguided, and the assassins for all of humankind. But I'm just mentioning black folks because we'll probably talk a little bit later. I had to correct a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to it. You feel me?
They'll say like, oh, so-and-so ain't hood, so-and-so ain't this. Was Jeffrey Dahmer hood? He didn't call more bodies than anybody you know.
Absolutely.
Is he hood? He doesn't look like a savage. You heard me?
Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah, he ain't covered in tattoos. So it's like, be polite, show respect to people. You'll live a good, prosperous life.
Nah, absolutely.
But just for the record, in case people want to know, I'm really what I say I am, and I hope we don't ever have to find out.
Nah, that's a fact, man. Now, let's speak on the quote-unquote manosphere. Now, I always say there's the manosphere, then there's the manosphere, meaning like we have this generic red pill term for the manosphere, but then there's like the trenches of the manosphere. Now, did you go into content creating saying, yo, I'm going to enter into the manosphere, or was it just by accident? Because you actually went in and like said something very important. I'm an apex predator, and my goal is to hunt alpha males. That was a bar. That was prolific.
Yeah.
And then I seen you absolutely obliterate a couple niggas, but I think the first nigga was Sinful to P.
That wasn't the first, and it won't be the last. Yeah, no, he wasn't the first. There's a couple before him.
Yeah.
We call him criminal to pedophile. You heard me? Yeah, in real life, he got
really?
cases.
Wow.
And I went through this in one of my videos. He actually has cases for his crimes, which are not only illegal, but immoral. That's the issue. It's immoral.
Yeah.
You don't go out and get a black girl who's age 13 pregnant.
Wow.
While you're in your late 20s.
Wow.
You don't do that.
That's sick.
It's very sick.
Very.
And it's upon men to establish moral law and most importantly to enforce it.
Yes.
And one of the strange things about the internet, you could be anybody you want to be. Half these boys is reinvented. That's what kills me about the manosphere. I'm like, how y'all talking about women but y'all ain't never got women? You done reinvented yourself in college like DJ Fatademiks. You heard me?
Ooh.
Yeah, he was a loser his whole life. Said it on Vlad TV. When I was in high school, I was the weird Jamaican kid. Nobody wanted to hang out with me. Yeah, that's because you got a fat face and you have a bad personality and you can barely speak English, bruh. Yeah, that's why. Then you done reinvented yourself. But I say all that to say this. When I came in, I didn't have no respect for anybody because I didn't come from an environment where we pretend to respect you if we don't.
Yeah.
I came from an environment where we will confront you.
Yeah.
When you walk up and we don't know you, blood, where you from, blood?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so-and-so cousin? Well, so-and-so ain't here, blood, kick rocks.
Yeah.
I came from that.
Yes.
So that's how I get down. I'm not going to pretend I respect you when I don't.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they out here lying.
Absolutely.
How are you teaching people ism when you over here trafficking children? That's why real dudes are getting these long sentences because it went from pimping to sex trafficking due to you trafficking innocent minors.
Wow.
So you've done a great disservice to the whole game, to the child, and also to real P's that's out here trying to make some paper. You did.
Wow. How did he come on your radar?
Thank you for asking me that. And here's the funny thing. Every time you hear me speak up on somebody, bruh, I'm thorough, man. I don't ever speak up on a man without banging his line. Hey, let me holler at you real quick, bro. Like you did X, Y, and Z, or you said X, Y, and Z that I have an issue with. I don't ever bring anybody out the blue. In his case, it was unique. For a whole 2-year period, he made 9 videos talking about the big homie.
That's stalkish.
Yeah. And in my video, I actually had my editor chop it up. I was like, bro, go get all the evidence. So I play it where you could hear him constantly bringing up the saint and the sinner.
That's insane.
Now, the thing is, I never said anything about Lil Buddy for a couple reasons. Number one, if you was a street dude, we ain't got to go on the internet.
Yeah, of course.
And last I checked, you supposed to be in Las Vegas. Well, guess who the mayor now?
You.
I'm outside in Las Vegas. Matter of fact, I'm anywhere you find money and women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always outside. And half the time I'm dolo because I'm an introvert. See what it do with me. But you out hiding in Canada.
Yeah.
And the reason you hiding in Canada is because you got open cases for playing with them children, boy.
Wow.
That's why you hiding out there.
Wow.
So you got an open invitation to see me in person. But here's the thing. I would have never spoke up on him if he didn't keep saying my name 9 times out of nowhere.
Bro, like I seen also too, like in like that community, the manosphere, like, I feel like that's what they do, right? Like they hop on these like live streams and talk about other men for 12 hours a day, right? And like I get confused, right? Because you actually give content, right? That's evergreen, meaning like I can go back 2 years and see you talking about how to be a righteous man, right? How to dress, how to talk to women, right? I can get some, I guess, advice and actually some like great meaty content, right?
Fine wine.
Opposed to the type of content from the majority of the manosphere, which is, again, like folks don't even know, there's the mainstream manosphere, then there's the trenches. The trenches is just about attacking other content creators. It's nothing else. Now, you squashed it with like Kelvin Samuels before his death, right?
We can't even, you squash beef.
Yeah.
See, there was never any beef.
Yes.
And I'm glad you asked that, and I'm going to be very brief about this because people are sensitive about those who have passed away, right? So I'll be very brief about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as I said, I've never in my whole life been a hater.
Absolutely
and
not.
I've never. I when I see people win, I'm proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? Shout out to you.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, I appreciate you, man.
A lot of respect.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here without work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
Without you too, though, man.
Hey, I appreciate.
You feel me?
Thank you,
bro.
Thank
I
you.
was in a fucking college dorm room, like watching you, my nigga. You feel
Word.
me? Yeah, bro.
See, that's what adds it up for me.
Yeah.
Right there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Love, man.
Yeah. Look. Oh man. See, you about to get me emotional, bro.
Nah, come on, man. It's true, man.
That's what means something to me because
Yeah.
I was in this world without guidance.
Yes.
Do you know how different and more efficient my path to success could have been if someone would have just gave me some game?
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Berkeley, I did not know what to study. I ended up in political science.
Yeah.
Not knowing it was some useless BS. You see what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
an older man could have said, youngin', that don't pay, youngin'.
Yeah. Tech, get in tech.
Yeah, mess with this electrical engineering and computer science.
Yeah.
You know, mess with this accounting. Hell, mess with mortuary science. Something that will lead you to a vocation.
Absolutely.
Gainful employment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I did it, make your path easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that. Now, getting back to Mr. Samuels. So number one, and a lot of people don't know this story, and there's so many people that can vouch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's documentation.
Yeah.
When Kelvin Samuels and I became familiar with one another, at that time I was more famous than he was. And
Yes.
I wouldn't even consider myself famous.
Mm-hmm.
The way I came to know him is one of my youngins
Mm-hmm.
DM'd me and said, Marquett, there are two people I get a lot of great advice from, you and Kelvin Samuels.
Mm.
He gives me great business advice. I just did a consultation with him.
Yeah.
You guys should do a collab.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't read all my DMs. My assistant reads the DMs. She'll sometimes respond if she knows what I'm going to say. She's been with me for 5 years,
Yeah.
right? In my other businesses before this.
Mm-hmm.
She'll respond or she'll do the requisite research and present the information. Hey, Marquett, they said this. Who's Kelvin Samuels? It's this person. What do you want me to say?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to reach out, set it up? So she comes back and she says, you know, you're not going to like this. She says, so-and-so, which is one of my youngins that I've been mentoring for a while, says so-and-so said he paid this guy this money for a business consultation and you should do a collab. So I figured that'd be great. I researched him and I was going to reach out to him and say, hey, let's set up a collab. She was like, but I researched him and he doesn't have any requisite business experience that he could give advice to anyone.
Yeah.
Not paid advice.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, say word. So I look into it and she was like, yeah, look at his website. And then I was like, okay, you know, that's sick. What do I do? Do I go on YouTube and make a video? No. I DM'd him on his Patreon. Hey, you know, this young man who's one of mine paid you this amount of money for a business consultation and we've checked and we don't believe you have the requisite experience to give business advice, not about a tech company, to this young man. Would you be kind enough to refund him?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't respond. Then we emailed him.
Okay.
He didn't respond. Then we reached out 2 more ways.
Mm-hmm.
And my assistant was doing all of this.
Yeah. Documented too, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
He never responded. So then I said, let hellfire rain down on him. Because he's a dirtbag and he's scamming the youngins.
Yeah.
That's not what an OG does.
Mm-hmm.
OG takes care of the youngins. You school the youngins. You game them up. You don't take from them.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time that I made the video, Kelvin Samuels exposed, he was not famous. So that goes against the lie that you hear a lot of people say, you were clout chasing.
Yeah.
He wasn't. When I made the video, I had more subscribers. I had more patrons.
Yeah.
I was big to him.
Yeah, big homie.
I'm putting him on.
Yeah.
He became famous because he was disparaging a black woman in the public sphere off some Jerry Springer, Maury Povich stuff. And then after that, he started giving meaningful advice, which at his age, you should be able to do that.
Of course.
But when a young black man goes to you and you scam him on something you don't know anything about, and then another adult male addresses you and says, refund him, you should have just gave that little $80 back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You should have just gave that back.
Yeah, of course.
And I stand on that to this day. Now, as I said, I'm the mayor of Saint City.
Yeah.
So he came through my city and he ain't say nothing. You heard me, just show up.
Yeah.
Somebody banged my line. Oh, hey, homie, right here. You want me to like?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm down the street. I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah.
And this is a good story to tell.
Of course.
And I won't go into the details of what we talked about, but long story short, I'm at a certain resort, and I got a couple places on the strip. I'm at a certain spot. They're like, yeah, he at Bellagio right now. Pull up. Oh, for sure. Hop out the whip, wearing a bright floral shirt.
Man.
You heard me? Hop out the whip, doors go up. He sees me. I hop out. I'm walking straight at him.
Yeah.
He immediately, I could see that look in his face like, oh.
Did he run or?
No, he didn't run.
Okay, stay.
No, he like stiffened up. And
Okay, gotcha.
It was kind of like one of those things like, oh, like I've been set up kind of situation,
Yeah.
right? Like this is not coincidental.
Ah.
So long story short, I walk up on him. First thing I say to him is like, hey, man, I said, and, just make sure that this doesn't get flagged by YouTube, but like, I said X, Y, and Z about you. Essentially that you guzzle Skittles.
Yeah.
Use a Skittle Guzzler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whether you guzzle Skittles or not,
Yeah.
that's not a proper thing to say because a lot of men follow you.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think that about you if men follow you.
Absolutely.
I apologize to you because
wow.
I don't want anybody following you with you having the label of someone who guzzles Skittles when you're supposed to be teaching them how to be a man. Because that's not manly. He was like, I appreciate that. I was like, now you in my city, you ain't called, you ain't let me know you're coming through. I was like, I could do you a favor out here.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we should, I'd be happy to collaborate with you. I'm about to go do X, Y, and Z. He's like, yeah, I got a penthouse here. I was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Which I think he thought he was flossing on me. I was like, yeah, no, me too, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is my number. Yeah, just call me and we'll put something together. So he gave me his room number, what have you. And he was like, yeah, we'll collaborate, blah, blah, blah. Next time I'm coming down, if you're in Atlanta. Or I think he said he's going to Atlanta after that. But it was a cordial conversation. We exchanged a couple other words, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about it, too, and you've heard another YouTuber, and I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he wants his name said, but he's a friend of Kevin's.
Okay.
And he was like, you know what? I wanted to do a collaboration with you, Saint, but I didn't do it because I was a good friend with Kevin, and he used to talk so bad about you. And he said, when he sees you, he gonna knock you out.
Oh, man.
When he see you, he gonna knock you out.
Yeah, big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like 6'1".
Yeah.
He like 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
You're definitely like 6'2", right? Or 6'3"-ish. Because
You never
I'm like,
know. I feel like a giant though.
Yeah,
You heard me?
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like a giant out here.
Yeah.
It don't matter though, man, because I done put some big boys down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
they
tower over me for sure.
Yeah. Hey, look, somebody could be 9'80". I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm going in. Yeah. It don't matter. But long story short, this YouTube cat, he said, yeah, when he said when he see you, he gonna knock you out. I was like, word, that's crazy, because like he was like, oh, let's take a selfie. This will be funny. This will break the internet. So we smiling, taking selfies.
Yeah.
Right. And I told dude, I was like, that's your homie. I don't know him.
Yeah.
But there was never a beef, so it was never a need to like come to blows over it. Number one.
Yeah.
And he's a mature gentleman. I would never expect him to do that.
Yeah.
I think he just made a mistake. His mistake was scamming that boy.
Yeah, of course.
And then the second mistake was when somebody addressed you, you ain't fess up.
Yeah, of course.
Those were the two mistakes. And I also made a mistake, which was I said he guzzles Skittles when he does. Well, I don't know if he does or doesn't. I hear he went out and there was a super thick Latina around there. You heard me?
Yeah, bad one.
Yeah, praise the Lord. That's how I want to go out. So apparently maybe he doesn't. And that's a mistake because we too often put that label on people, and that's not that's a despicable thing to call someone.
Yeah, effects.
So everyone should know that as a man, if you do something that's not right, righteous thing to do is correct it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And so, he was actually the first person that got bodied in the public forum.
Oh, wow.
And that hurt a lot of other people's feelings. And then so the bodies just kept dropping.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, like, I always say this, man. Like, you can never take the truth as disrespect, no matter what form the truth is put in, right? So,
Church.
So, right. So, like, you were the first to, I guess, kind of, like, dive deeper into, like, Kelvin Samuels' background.
Yeah.
And then I think he went on Vlad TV and kind of, right? And, like, kind of confirmed a bunch of what you said about, like, how he never actually. Now, I love Kelvin Samuels, right? So, if Kelvin Samuels fanboys finna take this as disrespect.
Yeah.
The truth can be no disrespect.
Right.
We just got to pay homage as homage is due, where he did make a video 2 years prior calling out certain truths, and Kelvin Samuels confirmed damn near everything you said about not actually having a degree, et cetera, right? So, like, when you see he, I guess, admitted to it during, like, that interview, was it vindication? Like, yo, I've been told y'all this, man.
Nah, because my life has never been about tearing down.
Yeah.
You know, my life has always been building. It's always been this way. And you'll find that people are hyper focused on making others small because they think that'll make them feel big. I've always been the big homie my whole life. And that's why when I came in the YouTube game, I said, yeah, you could listen to so-and-so about how to get the females, or you could listen to the big homie and check my background. Like, I was voted best smile in high school. I was voted Mr. Irresistible. I was voted best dressed in high school. Like, which is irrelevant because it's high school, but it's verifying to you that the whole way through, I've been flying high. Absolutely. Like, I didn't reinvent. I'm telling you from the source. You say so-and-so wrote a book. Nigga, I am the book.
Yeah.
I'm the book. I'm the living word. Nigga, soak this up.
Yeah.
But anyways, with regards to him, I didn't feel like, yes, he admitted the lies. Because one thing I realized, seekers of truth, they gonna mess with the truth all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was only the people who choose blindness that believed in things that were clearly not true. For example, just recently somebody said, oh, he didn't go to the universities he said he went to.
Oh, who said that?
A nut.
Oh, okay.
A nut.
Yeah.
A nut. And I'm on my live session. My assistant is there. And she was like, and she gets appalled because when you've known someone over a long period of time and you've seen what they do behind the scenes, like people don't even know the things I donate money to, the places I volunteer around the world. Like, they have not the foggiest idea.
Absolutely.
But she knows and sees and writes checks. Like, when I do payroll and I paid out $13,000 last month, she knows the names of these young men who are 17 years old in Miami, 19 years old in Wisconsin. Like, she knows these people. She know what I actually do. So she was like, Marquett, they just said you didn't go to these colleges. She was like, not only did you go, here's a link. He's a distinguished alumnus. He's gotten awards from the Johns Hopkins University, which means among all the brainiacs who graduated, he one of them ones that they're saying you brought honor upon us.
Yes.
The degree gives you honor. They're saying you brought honor upon us. We're giving you an award.
Man.
And
Facts,
so
man.
I say that to say, like, if people are going to go in the comments and say he didn't graduate from those colleges, they could have easily just Googled my name and the college name, and they would have found that link themselves.
Absolutely.
But they didn't want to find it. And so increasingly I find in this media game, and I'm learning a lot because I'm not a show business guy. Yeah. I'm a business guy, I'm a tech guy.
A real one.
Yeah, so I'm learning, how they engage in their propaganda. Yeah. And we just turning it up and fixing things, and that's why I appreciate you being real enough to invite me on and a lot of other guys you've invited on, because I see the kind of moves you're doing and you're adding something to No Jumper.
Tariq, you feel
and RZA, yeah, absolutely. Guys
me?
That probably, and even I heard Adam when you had, when Tariq was talking about, he's like, yeah, Adam said, well, you're in LA. I'm surprised we haven't already done this. Yeah. Well, it's happening now because you, right?
Yeah, man.
So I think that says a lot about you, and I appreciate that and I respect that.
Yo, like, I wanted to reach out sooner, right? But like, I always thought that you would have said no because it's kind of like, yo, bro, like, you're traveling to Europe and just doing like a thousand different things. Yeah. I never thought that like you would actually like come and sit down with No Jumper, right? Yeah. And do like a tele interview, right? But now let's transition, man. Yeah. So Akademiks. And you call him Fatademiks, right?
Livingston.
Now listen, I love both of you guys, right? But that Jamaican accent you did, yo, how'd you practice that, bro? Like that?
Bro, I've been to the island, you heard me? I had me a couple of them things.
Yeah.
So,
Man, why y'all beefing, man?
Nah, there's no beef, because if it was a beef.
Yes.
If it was a beef.
The discourse.
It can't be a beef.
Yeah.
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 Who is he? Can't beef with me.
Yeah.
I'm way out his caliber in terms of beef, you heard me?
Yeah.
He was beefing with a broad. What?
Who, Selena Powell?
Whoever the broad was, you see him like his buddy recording it and he yelling at the broad. She took his hat off his head, threw it. Yeah. Disrespect him in the public sphere. You ain't never in life, Herb. You ain't never in life seen that with a guy or a girl disrespect me like that in public. Never in life. We not even cut from the same cloth. We could never beef. He wouldn't even want that.
Oh, shit.
So that's out. We always just have to speak accurately on that because I don't want people to be like, like that will. There are people who love me that actually know me in real life.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want to say it's beef.
Yeah. Nah, that's a fact.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, as a fact. Just very careful, yeah.
Yeah. So that's number one. Then number two, so I'm a loyal dog. You're like, I grew up, hey, if you go on the stand, you lie for your man and you fry for your man.
Yeah.
If that's your man.
Yeah.
That's who you chose to hang out with, ride with him to the end.
Yeah.
So there's some guys in the internet space that early on, I was like maybe one of the first major guests to go on Fresh and Fit.
Yes, Fresh and Fit. Yeah.
And from a data standpoint, when I went on there, they had the highest live viewers they had ever had.
Yes.
Right? And I wasn't trying to be like a YouTuber. I wasn't working at it. I wasn't thinking about it strategically. I was just doing it and getting good feedback from audience. And so they had, Fresh had DM'd me like, hey man, we got this show. Like, I'd love you to come out to Miami. And I actually didn't even see the DM for months. And then I was looking for this. I was flying into a particular country and I knew a girl there and I'm trying to find her DM. You heard me? I'm like, where is this?
Yeah.
And so I'm going through my message requests. And then I see his.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, come out to Miami, whoop-de-whoop. And one thing I will always be, I see you working hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to support you.
Absolutely.
I've always been that.
Yeah.
I will put you on. I see his DM. I hit him back like, hey, bro, like, sorry to get back to you a couple months later, man. This is in my message request. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to come through. Now, here's the important thing to understand. When they, and I don't want to put any of their business out, but just my experience, things may or may not have changed. When I move around, I'm usually moving around with my assistant.
Yeah.
Right? So one of them, maybe two of them. So he says, hey, man, we'll fly you out to Miami to be on our show. And, you know, the show's about this, X, Y, and Z. Now, it wasn't Fresh and Fit then. It was just like two guys who have a show and like a very small channel. Maybe I think when I went, there were like 13,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
14,000. Right.
Yeah.
It shows you what hard work and focus will do. Shout out to them.
Because
they didn't arrive on accident. They arrived because they're lab rats. They stay in that lab cooking up.
Yeah, consistent.
That's how they did it. You heard me? Like, and I always commend them and let my subscribers know, like, I'm not at their level because I want to go to Monaco and holla at, you heard me?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I'm not at their level because I got 5 bad hoes in Poland right now.
Absolutely.
I'm not at their level because I love trying to learn Amharic in Addis Ababa from this turbo thick Ethiopian shorty. You heard me?
Yeah, no, facts. Absolutely.
They're there because they worked for that.
Yes.
Anyways, so they said, hey, we'll fly you out. We'll pay for your flight. We'll pay for your hotel. Right?
Yeah.
Which sounds reasonable. We're not going to compensate you for your time.
Yeah.
Pay you your flight and your hotel. We're just getting started.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Now, mind you, my time's expensive and my time is usually compensated.
Yeah, of course.
Not as a YouTuber, just as a business guy. I'll go give a lecture at Roosevelt University. They gonna cut me a check. Of course. So anyways, and I travel my assistant.
Yeah.
So I'm incurring expenses, which means that, okay, you pay for my flight and my hotel. Why my assistant? I didn't say, hey, pay for my assistant. I'm coming here to love on you.
Yes, absolutely.
I pay for my assistant's hotel, my assistant's flight. We go out there.
Yeah.
And we do the work. I say that to say I did that out of pure love. They were not famous at all.
Yeah.
I did that out of pure love. Now, as I said, I'm a loyal dog. You know, if we do anything together, you heard me? I'm going to keep it solid with you.
Yeah.
I ain't going to betray you. I ain't going to talk greasy on you. A million times people are like, hey, Fresh and Fit did this. What do you think? Do a reaction video.
Yeah.
You ain't never in life seen me do that.
That's true.
No matter how many controversies they had, you've never in life seen me do a reaction video or throw them under the bus.
Yes, that's true.
I'm not going to say I condone something I don't condone, but I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. Anyways, I watch Fatademiks, right?
Yeah.
and Livingston Allen, I'm calling him by his government. Livingston Allen, he goes on their show. He's using their studio. He's soaking up their clout because they popping. He ain't popping. Yeah. They're popping.
Well, like, he's popping.
I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Hip hop, yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You're popping when you are the event. You are the attraction.
Yeah.
He is a commentator of the event, of the attraction, of the person. So he tries to become a celebrity based on talking about celebrities. But he's not the center of attraction. And here's a good litmus test.
Yeah.
If you're a rapper, I'm having a concert. Come through.
Yeah.
I'm about to display a talent.
Yes.
What event could he throw that people are going to show up to? Hey, I'm going to talk about a rapper. Come through.
Podcasting? I mean, podcasting?
You know exactly. So it's like, bruh. Anyway, so he's trying to get on this Fresh and Fit wave, and we know that he must be getting some benefit because he keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Keeps showing up consistently. Then he does an interview with Tate, and for some reason, even though Fresh is not present, he just keeps throwing Fresh under the bus.
Yeah.
Disrespecting him while he's not there. And one of the things I was raised to hate is backbiting and gossip.
Yes.
Backbiting, that's religious right there. The Muslims, it's in their book. It say don't backbite. Especially not your friends.
Wait, So he was talking about Fresh and Miranda situation, right, with Andrew Tate?
Yeah, all kind of things,
Yeah.
just disrespectful. And I was like, you know what? I don't like homie. I don't like homie. And I don't like how he getting that dude. We're going to teach a lesson. And we're going to establish moral law. And one of the things that that people around the world need, and African Americans in particular, not to say either of them are,
Yeah, of course.
but we need a new secular morality for religion has failed in most cases. And secondly, technology has outstripped man's ability to be moral, which is to say with new technology, we adjust morality.
Absolutely.
It would be barbaric to have an abortion if the way you aborted the kid was to let the kid carry full term and then you just choked it out.
Yeah.
Or threw it in the ocean. That would be like, oh, that's not right.
Yeah, of course.
But when we can apply technology, it seems more sterile and more okay.
Yeah.
And we have many things where technology make things seem okay that are not okay. Like, for example, now they say using science, they can have males get pregnant.
That's nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
Using science, we could, in fact, turn a male to appear like a female.
Yes, sir.
Which is immoral.
Yeah, that's wild.
So we have to establish moral law. And relations among men need to be respectful, especially among friends. And so I said, let me speak on this. Let's establish some moral law. And, you know, Fresh is a kind gentleman. He ain't going to talk about it. The supervillain going to take it up.
Yeah.
You dig? And I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
And so that's that. Now, here's the funny thing you'll notice about DJ Akademiks. When I said what I said, he replies, you know, he gives his little 20, 30-minute rant talking about the saint and the sinner. Nobody was messing with it. In his own comments, they're like, bruh, you better keep quiet for you get flamed again. You better keep quiet. So he said it's 30 minutes. Then I came back and ethered him again.
Yeah.
After that, then this what he came and said. He said, oh, you know, I can't be talking about the saint and the sinner unless he showed me $5 million in the bank account. I can't be talking about these broke N-words. Oh, like before you wanted to tangle with the saint and the sinner.
Yeah.
But once you got that work, you realize that's good work. You ain't want to tangle no more. And then you start hiding behind excuses and smoke screens. But let's play your game.
Yeah.
$5 million ain't nothing, homie. Like, check my background. I've been traveling around the world for a decade, boy.
Yo, so I seen like an article, I forgot what it was, right? Where they said that your net worth is $50 million. Now, I'm not no pocket watcher.
Sure.
I'm not, you feel me? I'm going to be more coy with my question. But how rich is the saint and the sinner, man? Because you got some money to you.
I'll just say this. A lot of people, when they say that their net worth is fill in the blank, they might be including a number of asset classes, things that they haven't turned into cash, or shares in their own company, of which the value might vary or not even be there.
Yeah, of course.
When I talk about money, I'm talking about actual money.
Cash.
And I also have assets. And I'll just say this. And I try to create like global standards in civilization, the GSIC, G-S-I-C, global standards in civilization. Some things are just impolite. It's not quite polite for me to ask you how much money you have or how much money you make. A lot of black folks do that. But it's not quite polite. But I'll say this. I have a number of banks around the world. And the last banker I went to meet, me and my partner, we flew private over to this particular country. Banker comes and meets us at the airport. And then once we, got the first deal done, they said, we don't recommend, or excuse me, before we got the first deal done, they said, we don't recommend you put this amount of money in this bank because we only insure up to this much. I can introduce you to 3 other bankers that can insure the rest. So that if anything happens, the government can, secure this money.
Offshore bank accounts.
I'm just saying that the banker had to introduce me to other bankers to make sure that we Gucci, and that was not the only country I operate in.
God damn. God damn.
But the thing is, I always want people to know that life's not about money. And most of the people watching will not become millionaires. And here's the most important part. They don't want to be millionaires. They might talk about money, but they don't want to be millionaires. They don't even know what that means. But we can all be happy. And that's the true measure, is to live the correct life and find out how you can be consistently happy. And I think that's the most important thing. So that's what I'm trying to focus people on. But with regards to DJ Fatademiks, Livingston, with regards to the young boy talking about, like, show me $5 million, that make me start wondering what he got. Like, oh, that's the test? Yeah, I'm wondering what you got now. But here's the thing, man. You probably heard this. They used to say, you ain't never too live to die. So, like, yeah, you could talk about all that, but you ain't never too live to die. So watch what you're saying to people.
Of course.
In general.
Here, a question, right? So now, outside of like the thing with Fresh, like, what's the foundational, I guess, difference between you and Act? Because, yo, I feel like, man, listen, man, like, y'all are both rich, very influential. I feel like y'all coming together and having, some type of, like, conversation.
No, I'm cool. If I
I
saw Ack, I'll probably laugh at him and shake his hand and give him a hug.
Yeah.
I'll look at him, laugh at him, shake his hand, give him a hug, and then tell him to quit wearing sweatpants.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you wearing sweatpants, you need to be a super thick bitch. You heard me? Like, I don't need grown-ass niggas wearing sweatpants. You heard me?
Yeah.
Pay attention to what I'm telling you.
I know, come on, man.
I see you, bro.
What it is? It's a sweat short. So
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Come on now.
But no, some real talk. There's no beef there. I just don't respect the phoniness. I don't respect the phoniness of, like, you act like you want smoke and then you're like, oh, well, actually. It's like, bro, people see you lying, you're being a bad example.
Yeah.
Now, here's the difference. You said, what's the difference? When Ack passes away, and I'm not trying to harken this, but when he passes away, his tombstone might say podcaster.
Yeah.
Commentator.
Yeah.
I talked about other people and what they did.
Hip-hop guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When my tombstone goes, it's going to say a whole best-selling author, lecturer.
Woo. That's heavy.
Poet.
That's heavy.
Inventor. Yes, I've invented technology.
That's heavy, yeah.
Right? It'll say a lot more than that. And he'll disappear into the dustbins of history. When I go, my message is going to live on. And people who are living it out. I have a whole philosophy. You go to my website, click about. You're going to find a whole guide on how to live well.
Yeah.
There's no philosophy or thinking behind what he's doing. He's trying to make money by entertaining you.
Yeah.
Here's a meaningful example. I have a video called, and this is going to get no views. It has gotten no views, and I made it knowing it was going to get no views.
Yeah.
The lessons from Mr. Rogers. You know Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Yes.
Y'all know Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Don't nobody want to watch a damn video called The Lessons from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Yeah.
But here's one of the key things he used to teach you.
Yeah.
He talked to the children as a man, and he says, you're growing up just the right way. You are going to grow into a man. You are going to grow into a girl. You're growing up just the right way.
Yes.
Which is to let you know that everything that you are is beautiful, and you're going to bloom into exactly what you're supposed to be. That gives children self-esteem and meaning.
Yes.
Which is antithetical to what they're getting now, which is they don't know what they're supposed to grow up into.
Yeah.
And adults who are supposed to give them certainty and confidence and guidance, we're giving them our own confusion.
Absolutely.
So we make a video, Lessons from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's called content, by the way.
Of course.
What he does is commentary. He's commentary.
Yeah.
So that's a radical difference. Like, I'm doing this. This is a labor of love.
Yeah.
I've only lost money doing YouTube. For a fact,
Yeah.
I've only lost money. I've only lost deals, and I've lost a lot of beautiful women doing YouTube.
Be hard.
Yeah, man.
Now, let's transition to Destiny, which that was the most unsuspected thing.
Yeah.
Now, where did the issue with Destiny come from? Because I was kind of like surprised. Like, I'm like scrolling through like my feed,
right?
And I see that you're live and shit.
Yeah.
I click on it and I see Destiny. I'm like, well, I was like, what's going on here, man? Like, how did that happen?
This is a very fascinating experience that we all need to understand. There's so many layers to this one.
Man, break it all down. We got time.
And this is a beautiful thing. So number one, similar. I don't know if you had heard of them before, but I never heard of them.
Yeah.
And that's not saying much because I've not heard of a lot of things. I
interviewed him. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not heard of a lot of things. That's no disrespect to him. But I was getting DMs like, hey, this gamer is watching one of your clips at length and he's criticizing you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's curious. I was just kind of caught off guard. He's a gamer. He makes content about video games. Like, why am I on his stream?
Yeah.
So I click on it, and he has this Canadian woman who is a bit mentally unwell. She's
Laugh?
I don't want to say her name because her whole goal in life is to get attention.
Gotcha.
That's her whole goal in life. So we will give her none.
Hey,
we will give her none.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah,
you
man.
did?
Yeah.
So it's a nameless Canadian woman. She's a lonely mother. I like to call them lonely mothers. She's a lonely mother.
Facts, but lonely mother.
Yeah, she's a lonely mother. So she went on my stream a while back and got flamed.
Wow.
I'm talking about like an epic internet flame where I had to take it down after because I didn't want to get flagged.
Wow.
But so many people enjoyed the flaming that they downloaded the joint and shared it 1 million times,
God
right?
damn.
Everybody else had it on their channel. So it was a famous flaming of this woman, right? It's where she came into existence. It's her origin story.
Oh, wow.
I got flamed by the saint in the center, right?
Yeah.
So she was actually on his channel, and her only reference point for who am I is, I got flamed by the saint in the center.
Yeah.
Here's the video. So they're watching a lengthy clip of me flaming this woman with logic, you know, not insulting her, with logic. And they're talking about black issues, black male-female relationships, black male underperformance, inadequacy, sensitive issues. And all the while, you know, every now and then he'll chime in and insult black people or insult me specifically.
Yeah.
He'll chime, but most of the time he's just playing video games while she's pouring her heart out about something she's serious about. And other little black, you know, tap dancers and shufflers and, you know, they'll come in on the stream and they'll continue engaging her, talking about black issues.
Yeah.
Then I say something that he didn't like because I call him Mr. Stinky Cock.
Yeah.
You know, it says something he didn't like. He was like, I'm going to go DEFCON 4 on black people. I'm going to start calling out black people's homophobia. And
God damn.
I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait. I am not black people.
Yeah.
I am one man. One of the definitions of racism is the discrimination of a group of people, typically when you associate low characteristics to that group. So it's like he wasn't even listening to me. He just looked at me and said, oh, it's black people.
Yeah.
He's a racist, just flat out, he's a racist. Because it doesn't make any sense logically to carry from an individual black person said something, you identified with a misnomer, homophobia. You should have said, I'm gonna go DEFCON 4 on the saint. Or I wanna debate him on this homophobic thing I'm observing.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. I was like, oh, the boy's a racist. He's a closeted racist, of which there are many, especially the left. The left is exceptionally racist, but it's all low key.
Democrats, yeah.
The right is also very racist, but they ain't trying to hide it 9 out of 9. So anyway, so he says, you know, this stuff that was racist, and I was like, oh, okay, for sure. Like, all right, you know, we gonna put him in the crosshairs. Then we gonna deal with it. And a lot of folks were saying, oh, he's a great debater. He's the best debate. This guy is the debating king.
Yes, right. He has like annihilated a bunch of other creators, right? Yeah. Now,
You're right.
Now y'all two are a great match.
It would seem if you're an internet personality, but if you ask yourself, okay, beyond the internet, what has he done? Like beyond like talking on the microphone, what has he done in life? Like what has his experiences been that have put him to the test?
Well, a kid, right?
What's that? Oh, he has a child?
Yeah, right? I mean...
Look. I got a homie of mine I'm going to go kick it with after this. You heard me? He's like, these my white kids, these my black kids, these my Latino kids. He got about 5 baby mamas.
God, you heard me?
So if a kid is the test, he qualified.
Yeah.
Now, so you got this guy who is unlettered, went to a 3rd-tier university, dropped out on a music degree, which is one of the easier degrees to get.
Yeah.
He claimed he dropped out because he was working at a restaurant. It was too much.
Yeah.
And he spent his whole life playing video games and then yelling at people on the internet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, you got a young black kid who teaches himself technology, invents a technology, flies around the world, does business with the Chinese Communist Party, is, you know, negotiating with the Korean government as well as the Puerto Rican government, gets deals, gets grants
That's deep.
from their government.
Yeah.
The negotiation skills and the business savvy and the ability to debate with high-level minds.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see a video where the governor of Virginia is trying to get me to open an office there so they get that tax money, right?
Oh, wow.
But the point is like, no, you don't have the experience to operate at this level. And further, what's a debate? A debate is where you establish a point, an intellectual point.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to defend it or you have to advance your point.
Yes.
That's what a debate is.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Now, so I say, okay, you know, he wants to smoke. Fantastic. Before I could even do my response video to the initial one, he does another live stream going through my video for like in excess of an hour.
Now, like, what did he say though? Like during like those reactions that had you thinking, yo, you is disrespecting the big homie?
This guy's a misogynist. This guy's homophobic. This guy's sexist. Just basically all of the liberal talking points.
Yeah, they'll do it.
And he, as an individual, is not important.
Yeah.
But it's important to provide people with a toolkit for A, understanding his perspective, and B, combating it. And C, you got people on the right or on the center. These are reasonable, people on the right, the center, the left, who might be reasonable, and they're going to go with whatever makes sense, the truth. Then you have ideologues on both sides. They're rightist or they're leftist. They're not going to budge. Most of his fan base is leftist because he's bisexual, right? Yeah. So they're staunch leftists.
Yes, definitely bisexual, I think. Yeah.
And then there's people in the middle who are neutral, and they're just trying to figure things out.
The truth, yeah.
General young people. So I was like, okay, this will be useful. He'll be a foil for me explaining things.
Yeah.
He does a second video before I can even do my first one. Then I start with my first one, and it's not a debate. It's a video going through his points and his claims. And the title of the video was exposing his racism and the misnomer of homophobia.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, if you've been watching my content for a long time, I don't have anything about racism. I almost never talk about racism.
Yeah, no.
And when I do events and when I talk about who I'm working for all of humankind.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
There's no racism in what I do.
Yes.
I don't like things that discriminate or separate peoples.
Absolutely.
I've been around the world. I've observed firsthand. We are pretty much all the same.
Yes, absolutely.
You find a guy in Iraq, you find a guy in Antarctica. They both want to get laid. They got the same person, the same priorities. Yeah.
All one for the pussy.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so I start my live session, and then eventually he hits the link to join on. He came in when I was going through his background because the first thing we have to dispense with, and one thing I always teach is hierarchy. Hierarchy is important. Confucius talks about hierarchy. He talks about the basic relationships, ruler and subject, husband and wife, older sibling and younger sibling. These things bring order and they define culture. Hierarchy is important. You need to know who you should respect.
Yeah.
So I said, first off, I can tell that people are being fanatical and just even suggest that he can debate because you're talking about a guy who spent his life playing video games, has no college degrees, and no credibility outside of the internet.
Yeah.
Why would you compare that to? So I just want to go through that first. So he hops on the stream while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about my education for? I was like, I'm talking about your credentials. If you were to go to a formal debate, they actually do introduce you based on your credentials.
That's true.
Anyways, long story short, here's the issue. So we go through the debate topic. So first we talk a little bit about, first we actually talk about his background. And here's where it got
spicy.
Here's where he got really mad. And you'll see if I actually did a reaction video. I think I might have taken that one down as well. And a lot of his fanatics, they'll say, oh, you took this down because you don't want the truth. I'm like, no, I took it down because you guys are flagging my video. I took this down because y'all are trying to cancel me. People who hate the truth must cancel you.
Mass report, yeah.
Because if you were saying things that were like completely crazy, a normal person would watch it like, this guy's a nut, cut it off. But there is a special ingredient called truth, which you don't want to get out. So you are trying to cancel and censor.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we get to one point and he says the following. Because I told him he was unqualified to give advice.
Yes, I heard that.
He says, what is one thing that my experience precludes me from giving advice on? What is one thing my experience precludes me, stops me from giving advice on? I said, oh, well, it's curious. You should ask.
The crypto.
So I clicked play.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're going to play a YouTube video? I was like, calm down, my boy. This is you.
Yes.
This is called a primary source.
Yes.
When people do research, they want to use primary sources. Not only will we speak of something you've done, we will show it.
Absolutely.
So they know we're not lying. And it specifically goes on to say, he says, oh man, crypto and NFTs, that's a scam. Anyone, his words, anyone selling NFTs is just trying to scam you. Then he goes on further to say something ironic. He says, we should create something wherein like we punish people because they'll say something is bad or dumb and then they'll do it. It's hypocrisy. His words.
Yeah.
Then I say, okay, there's that first clip of you. Here's another clip of you. Then I click the clip, and he's like, oh, yeah, there's this thing where you can sell NFTs, and the creator gets 10% of all of the sales. He gets 10% of the proceeds. So, yeah, you guys should buy it. Like, I have some classic Twitch streams that you're going to want. So, so what's he doing? He's selling NFTs. Why? To make money. There are a couple personality types that I don't trust and I don't want to take advice from. One is the people who need money. You heard me? Like everything. That's why
we're all broke though.
You can't trust. You can't trust it. And that's why I believe politicians should come in for service. When you've been successful in life, and you say, my mission now is not to go make money, it's to give back.
Yeah, it's power.
And that's why I tell people at my conferences, I say, you know what? When I was a young man, my number one goal, more important than love, more important than anything, was to make $1 million. I want to make millions. My goal now is to make millionaires.
Damn, man, that's real. That's deep, man.
My goal now is to make millionaires.
Man, that's
I'm
deep.
on this other level now. I'm trying to see you win. And that's how my OGs was. His older brother put me in the game. He was my basketball coach. All he wanted to do is see me win.
Oh, man, shut up.
My partner Ryan. And then I had this one super thick, shaped like a ocho, my boy. Went to a private school. I ain't gonna name it. I don't want nobody to know who she is. Bad.
Man.
Bad. I was 16.
Black or Hispanic or what?
She was mixed.
Oh,
you heard
man.
me? So she was actually half German, half black.
Stupid.
Yeah. Fire.
Yeah.
Pure flame. Anyways, I'm trying to max her out. You heard me? His older brother's like, bro, I got you, man. I'm going to drive you over there. And I'm like, yeah, but she had her mom's house and whoop-de-whoop. He was like, bro, I'm going to drive you over there, text her, man, sneak in the side, beat that down. I'm going to be out here. I'm going to just wait. However long you take, I'm going to be right here.
Man, that's a real homie right there.
I was raised like that. You want to see your people win.
Absolutely.
You don't get jealous of them. If they winning more than you, we coming up together. Huh?
Nah, that's a fact.
I'm here with my mans I grew up with.
Yeah, man, shout out to Ryan, man.
I ain't bring no strangers in here. I'm with my mans. I was a kid with this man. Anyways, where were we?
Destiny and his character flaw.
His money grab.
Yeah.
First video. NFTs are a scam.
Yeah.
Anyone selling them is a scammer.
Yeah.
We should hold people accountable for being hypocrites. Second video, hey, buy my NFTs. I have NFTs. I'm selling NFTs. NFT for you. NFT for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, brethren, use a cold liar and a hypocrite. Explain to me how you rectify saying it's a scam and then trying to sell it. Explain that. Then what does he do? Yeah. It's called a red herring.
Okay.
He starts distracting. Well, why don't you tell me what an NFT is? What?
I've seen that,
That has nothing to do with anything.
And then the fans came and started trolling, asking what an NFT is.
Precisely. Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing. It's very clever and it's strategic. It's so strategic, people have been doing it for thousands of years. We have a name for it.
Yeah.
It's a logical fallacy called a red herring.
Yeah.
Which is to distract from the actual topic because you can't win on the current topic.
Yeah.
Right? In a debate, you have a point or a topic. He couldn't win because we had to address the truth. And the truth was hideous. So he just, what's an NFT? But here's the irony.
Yeah.
Here's the irony. I had just finished a conference where what did I do? I taught people what an NFT is. Yeah. How people get scammed on NFTs. Oh, and how you can create NFTs. Yeah. What's the business model behind NFTs? Yeah. And I did this with one of my engineers who's worked in my businesses. I actually, you can go to marquettism.com, you heard me, and buy an episode where you can learn to create NFTs from scratch. Yeah. So he's asking a guy who's an inventor of technology and reasonably sophisticated, more than him and more than his viewers, what's an NFT? One, it's a ludicrous question. It's ludicrous to ask me. It's a slap in the face, right? Yeah, of course. It's a slap in the face. That's like me asking DJ Akademiks, who's Drake? He's a hip hop commentator. He would know. If anybody knows, it's him. Yeah. So he tries to distract. So I'm not going to play petty and answer the question. So what does he do the whole time? As soon as I said, no, that's a red herring. You're trying to distract. You tell us, because you asked me, what precludes me from giving advice to other people based on my experience? Well, your experience is you said NFTs are a scam. Then your second experience and your advice is go buy my NFT. That precludes you because you're clearly a money hustler. Yeah. You're a dirtbag. What does he start doing? This man turned into Beethoven. He started playing piano. He didn't win Stevie Wonder. He playing piano. I'm like, what's going on with little buddy over here? Yeah. Tripping. He was mad and stressed. He started playing piano and some more stuff, man. Yeah. And then everything broke down from there. But here's the funny thing. The fanatics on his side, they come back, they're like, he won the debate. What debate?
Yeah.
The first point we went to, I answered his question. I said, hey, defend your actions.
Yeah.
And he started playing piano. He thought he was John Legend. We're just ordinary people. It's like, bro, didn't turn into Alicia Keys in his life. Like, what debate point did he win? He didn't win one.
Yeah.
And so what we realized there is that, you know, he's been in the internet game a long time. I've been in the real world. I'm new to the internet game.
Yeah.
So I noticed what he does is he'll put subscriber only mode when he goes live.
Yeah.
So no one can disagree with the nonsense. When I went live, anybody could join in.
Yeah.
And that's how his people were able to join in. And what do I do as a infiltrate precisely? And what do I do as a reasonable man? I let them come on and speak their piece.
Yeah.
But they're gaming nerds and fanatics, and they really just want to defend, you know, this fella because they probably engage in the same sick behaviors.
Yeah.
But he basically got obliterated on that. Then I went on to the second point, which is homophobia.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, let's go on to another topic since you're embarrassed. Homophobia. A phobia is a medical diagnosis, which means fear of.
Yeah.
This is something that is defined in a book that has been established by scientists. There is no such diagnosis called homophobia. Because it actually doesn't exist. What you're actually trying to do as a leftist is you guys often bring in medicine to give legitimacy to your claims and accusations.
Yeah.
So you're trying to use this term to make people seem crazy or mentally unwell because they disagree with you. It is not a phobia. I've never met anybody who was around people who engage in homosexuality and they were scared, like, Nah, like, bro, I used to live in San Francisco in Pack Heights. You heard me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, even on Halloween, we go out, you know, there's gay people all over, half of them half dressed anyways, right? Like, I'm not like, oh my God, like, you know, no, there's no phobia.
Yeah.
It's called, I don't agree with your behavior.
Absolutely.
But you've created this term as a part of your discourse and propaganda effort, and we shall expose it. So when you call me homophobia, what you really meant to say is, I'm a homosexual, and you're speaking against my behaviors, and I'm mad. That's really what it was.
Oh, man.
But he didn't want to talk about the linguistic aspect of it and the fact that they're creating words on a consistent basis. You almost don't understand what they're talking about anyway. Like, I'm AFAB, you're cisgender, this is trans, that, I'm transracial, trans
I'm too slow.
transformer. Yeah, we don't know.
Which is why, right? Like, it was really like hard. A debate between you and him would be hard for somebody like me to really truly like follow along with, right? Because again, like bro, like the NFTs, the how to create it from the bro, I don't know,
which is irrelevant though. That's
you feel me? Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know nothing about that.
You know how I helped him out?
Yeah,
because his one of his butt buddies had got on after that, and his butt buddy had said, Marquett, like, why didn't you just answer what an NFT is? I said, number one, at the level at which I understand NFTs, if I
disrespect it even.
Right, it's disrespect to ask, and I won't lower myself. I'm already digging in the swamp, even talking to you people, but I won't lower myself. But if I did foolishly lower myself and explain, everybody would be lost.
Exactly.
Because it's technical.
And
this is not a technical audience.
No, absolutely.
That's number one. But more importantly, let's remove the concept of NFT. Consider this. Let's say it was a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
You do a stream and you say, anyone who sells cell phones is a scammer. Then on your next stream, you say, hey, I'm selling cell phones. Anybody want to buy a cell phone?
Yeah.
And I ask you, hey, how you say cell phones are a scam to sell, and now you're selling them?
No, like that, like that right there has definitely been one of the biggest black mark on like his career so far, because people do bring that up a lot, right? Now, like, his reason is, but listen, man, like they offered a big bag. I needed a bag.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, right, wow. Right, and like, right, and you know, and like he stated, listen, they offered a big bag, and if I already warned people about NFT scams, and then the next day I tell you guys to buy it, who fault, right? Like, and who fault is it really, right? So, I guess that explanation somewhat makes sense a little bit, right? Saying, listen, man, if I got the big bag for it, I'm a broke streamer, right? And I already
he though?
Well, at that time he was, right?
Wow.
Right, because I think like at that time Twitch was getting ready to like cancel him or like take him off the platform, right? So like he was, you know, like
he was scrounging for money.
Yeah,
scrounging for money.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Right now, let's actually redirect it, right? So Andrew Tate. Yeah. Now, I've been on live streams.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
But I've been called crazy, arguing with niggas back and forth. Right? When I say this,
okay,
that the blueprint of Andrew Tate talking about how the West is mad, how the women overseas, how to make money, the business talk, the wearing the suits, the right, like they're like uber masculine frame. I've always tell people this.
Okay.
Yo, like it kind of seems as if Andrew Tate got that from Marquett. You feel me? Now, right when I tell people this, right? Bro,
I'm your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. They don't want to keep it real out here, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Flakko.
No, like before you, I never heard people like talk about the West is going down. Yo, brother. Yo, listen, Peru, Brazil, listen, come over, right? And like the West going down, the entrepreneurship, the masculine frame. Now, how do you feel about that? Obviously, like it's all love, it's all respect to Andrew Tate.
Yeah, shout out to him.
But credit needs to be given where credit is due. So how do you feel about that comparison between you and Andrew Tate?
I have respect for Andrew Tate on a couple different fronts. And you're right. And that's why I always talk about hierarchy. And the part of hierarchy is respecting people who've come before you, whether it's heritage or people who rank higher than you, but also recognizing when you're of the same kind. Like we need to team up and collaborate when we're of the same type, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't have to knock anyone down if we're on the same vibe.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone today can say that I've ever spoken negatively about Andrew Tate. I've only spoken favorably in as much as like he's a successful kickboxer, which I respect highly.
Yeah.
He's appears to have been wildly successful in business, and he has the. As I tell people, if you got money, it shows. If you got hoes, it shows. Right?
Make home, man, with 20 supercars.
It shows. Now I know there's certain situations where people have to keep like things a little bit low key, but it shows. And he's been very successful in that. And so we have a very similar message. And in as much as that's the case, some people will look at Tate and resonate with that, and some people will look at me and resonate with that. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm totally fine with that. Now, you're right. There are a lot of people who have hijacked identities. They've been stealing the ism yuri and giving out the counterfeit version. You dig what I'm saying? But it's all beautiful. It's all love. It's not an issue. And if people track back through time, I think they'll be able to see, the Saint and the Sinner went on Fresh and Fit, and then another person went on after. Or they'll see the Saint and the Sinner was saying this and doing this and dressing this way and flying around the world and taking you with them. And then another person started doing this. But let's talk about the genius of Andrew Tate. What can we learn from him? What we can learn is his distribution model is exceptional. And that's been his true, his diamond. However, we also have to learn from people's failings, whether it's Kelvin Samuels or an Andrew Tate. And that's one thing that's beautiful to see people come in front of you is I get to sit back and look at Kelvin Samuels like, okay, bro, like I would see people in your live stream or in your chat and they'd say, protect this man at all costs. But nobody did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said it.
Yeah.
But nobody did it.
No, that's a fact.
So we actually got basic training coming up in February. You dig? We getting people together. No, we're training.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Okay, number two, look at Andrew Tate. He created a great distribution model. We should learn from this. But then he got deplatformed everywhere.
Yeah.
He didn't realize that at some point you have to make the message more palatable for the mainstream.
Absolutely.
And then when you say things that are a bit more strong, you say that for your members or whatever else.
Patreon.
Right. And he didn't make that transition at the appropriate time. Like, for example, right now I'm just a speck on the radar at some level. If I were to get to that level, I would have already cleaned that message up. You'd have seen everything get erased from the internet. I'd have been on there in a, you heard me, like dressed like a priest. Like,
man, come on now.
You never hear me curse. And the people who know what's up know what's up. But he didn't make that transition. I think a part of it is that people don't have the requisite experience or knowledge. At some level, he was doing something new, so shout out to him. But even if you look in historical examples, you look at the Nazi Party with Hitler. One thing people don't know is when they were called the brown shirts, they used to go around like literally just beating the snot out of their political opponents. And also people feared that he would do a violent takeover because everything they had done up to that point was violent and they were very anti-Semitic and they were unpleasant people. Then all of a sudden, he comes out and they didn't clean everything up. He's disbanded this group of like political thugs that he has. They even hosted the Olympics.
People forget
about that.
Crazy.
Nazi Germany hosted the Olympics. All the countries showed up.
Yeah. Times Man of the Year.
And talk to me.
Come on.
They participated. They showed respect.
Yeah.
And Neville Chamberlain, leader in the UK, oh, he's a great guy.
Yeah, of course.
He knew how to clean up appropriately. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, we all know that he was a deeply sick, wicked, evil person. Mm-hmm. We're in a similar situation wherein we have to clean up the message so that the mainstream doesn't deplatform us to where we can't get the truth out.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the pieces in the puzzle that Andrew Tate stumbled on.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, his acolytes will follow him for a bit, but in this age, humankind is fickle. Mm-hmm. So they'll follow him on Rumble. Rumble's a terrible platform. I mean, I tried it so many times. It's just a terrible platform. I say that as a guy in technology.
No algorithm there.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Even the UI is not good.
Yeah.
But anyways, they'll follow him for a time, but eventually they're going to stick with where the
YouTube.
Most of the content creators and consumers are, which is currently YouTube.
Yeah.
So he's going to eventually fade out.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to take those lessons and, it's all love. So, and I appreciate you acknowledging me on that. And I also want to acknowledge people that I get game from. And I'd be happy to name any of those scholars.
Man. Yeah. Who, well, so before that though, right? So let's talk about, bro, I just have so much, man, bro. I have you here for about an hour and 30 minutes, man.
Let's work.
I got just like more questions, right? But, right, I'll try to keep it brief, and then we can do a part 2, right? So, speak about the culture of the Manosphere currently, because I seen like you had critiques for, I think, Alpha Male Strategies, Steph is Cold,
Oh, yeah.
Fit.
That's a classic.
Yeah, bro. That was a big live stream, right? Mm-hmm. Now, outside of like, what's your critique about them or the overall class of the Manosphere now? Because again, you've graduated past the trenches of Manosphere, right? So fuck them other niggas. You feel me, right? Right? Again.
Hey, assassin or nothing in a real way. Let's go.
Yeah, right? Fuck them other niggas who are in the trenches.
Yeah.
Let's speak on where you're at now, which is like the mainstream Manosphere. What's the current, what's your view on it? Because you have, just Pearly Things right now who is, starting to strive.
I've heard that name, but I've not actually seen. It's a woman, right? White woman?
Yes.
It's a white woman.
And she has single-handedly ruined the career of our brand. First off, I love, listen.
Oh, did she?
I love Just Pearly Thing.
Okay.
But, man, bro, Hafiz coming on that interview just.
Oh, she flamed him.
Well, she flamed him in a real subtle way, which is he's just guns and holes, but he don't know when you're dealing with a woman.
Oh yeah,
you gotta be real delicate, right? Even if you do win the debate, if you still come off as mean, right? So right. So there's Hafiz, there's Steph is Cold, there's the oh my god. The first lawyer, oh my God,
lead attorney.
Yes, lead attorney. Yeah, right. So what's your general take on the Manosphere currently?
One, I'm not a part of the Manosphere. I've never said
part
of the Manosphere. As I say, assassin or nothing.
Yeah.
And when you use a term to put people under an umbrella, generally you would think they have common features.
Yeah, absolutely.
At some level, they clearly read all the same books, right? They read all the same books, clearly.
Rollo book,
Yes. And shout out to Rollo. I've had some conversations with him. But yeah, they're basically regurgitating things they've read in books.
Yes, sir.
So, in as much as that's the case, I don't respect it in general. I will say that there are guys that have seemingly been attacked on my platform, which was unfortunately due to editing.
Yeah.
Meaning that, at some point you got to hire a team. And there was one thing that actually had broke my heart. And it was no one's fault.
Yeah.
But one of my editors had did a video and he called it "Why So-and-so," I don't even want to say the name, "Why So-and-so Will Misguide You." And he's talking about one of the youngsters that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of that youngster, just for his ability to win and be successful in the online space.
Fit or who?
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I'm proud of both of them.
Okay,
I don't have any problem with them. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm an older man. I should be proud of them. I'm not going to compete with them. I want to help them. And now if they give some errant game, I'm going to correct it, which is also part of my responsibility. But someone put "Why So-and-so Will Misguide You," one of my editors, and put it out as a short or something. And it was doing numbers, and I was like, oh, man.
Because why would you do this?
I don't have time to look over all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a good video. People watched it. He did the right thing. But I was like, it hurts my heart because I respect this young man.
Yeah.
I ain't going to bang his line to correct it because it is what it is. It's out there.
Big homie.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. But anyways, with regards to the whole Manosphere, I think it's a bunch of guys who are projecting to win at a higher level than they actually do win, generally speaking. I think at some level, a lot of them have experienced trauma with their relationships with females, and they've not properly recovered. And that hints at their mindset, which is not going into life realizing that life will have challenges and bumps, and it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to hold a grudge. Yeah. And then lastly, I think there's a lot of lies in the manosphere, and there's no values. There's no value for family. There's no value for marriage. There's no value for women. And so they're misguiding a lot of young men with bad advice. And I get a lot of guys who come to me, they say, hey, man, I was hyped up on this RP stuff, and I lost a good woman. And now I'm on this ism, and it's bringing me back and making me positive and allowing me to see the light. Because when you look at manosphere content, it's wildly negative.
Absolutely.
It's wildly negative. It might tell you how to run strategy on a woman to sleep with her, but it doesn't tell you how to get a good woman, not a bad bitch, but a good woman, and build into a family. And it damn sure don't tell you how to get paid. You hear me? That's the number one issue. It don't tell you how to get paid. And at the end of the day, you're not a part of anything. You're just a part of a bunch of individuals on their computer hunched over. The assassin is something pure. There's an actual community. You heard me?
Absolutely.
When I pull up in Sweden, it's 10 people. Bruh. Yeah. I host workouts in St. City in the headquarters. You know, like we have real events. It's real community. They actually know each other. They've been to my house. I've hosted them for dinners. We're building a model and a culture that will span around this globe and teach people the right way to live.
Another aspect that Kelvin Samuels took from you, the war room he has, which is a similar concept of, you feel me, right? Now, last question for you, right? Well, one or two more questions for you, right? So, but the first question is, what's your take when people say, yo, like, I think you got a podcast with you. I've got a brother name, and like he's a magician.
Jabrizi. It's my partner. Good brother.
Yo, I didn't know that, bro. So on YouTube, he's probably, but his Facebook is, it's insane.
Right.
That, listen, speaking of views, that nigga get views. You feel me, right?
He going,
You can't even play that nigga, bro.
Hey, shout out to Jabrizi in a real way.
Get views, right?
Yes.
But like, I think even Axe said it and others said it, yo, he's trying to copy the Fresh and Fit formula for their pod. So like, speak on that now.
That's a good question.
Yeah, but though, like when I watch your podcast though, it's more so not a catch-22. It's like you are actually, like, it's a more positive conversation with the women.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't see it as copying. Yes, there's women, yes, there's two hoes, but it's not really copy to me. But, you know, like, what's your take on it?
Let's get deep. That's a brilliant question. Number one, let's just talk about lifestyle in general.
Yeah.
Who in real life been surrounded by hoes the whole way through?
You. Yeah.
In real life, like documented in real life.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5 of them things. And they cool with each other. And they know what it is.
Yeah.
My real life.
Facts.
So if somebody puts that on TV, I'm like, damn, you copying my real life.
Yeah.
Who's really copying? That's my life. You're fabricating stuff in general. I'm not talking about Fresh, but I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Now, that's point one. Point number two. The Fresh and Fit model is a brilliant model. I even made a video giving them their accolades as businessmen who have created a successful model, which they did not originate. You can observe the shock jock model. You can observe women being kicked out. You can observe women acting crazy. It's called Howard Stern. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
It's called Maury Povich.
Yeah,
you are not the father. Nigga doing backflip, whole run off crying, right?
I know. Yeah, Jerry Springer. You know, all
Jerry
that.
Springer.
Yeah.
Steve, get her out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same stuff.
Yeah.
Exact same stuff. Their actual magic sauce, so to speak, is the conflict. People are watching to see Myron talk crazy to the girl. Not crazy, but say something she don't want to hear, turn up on her.
Yeah.
And then she reacts the way we predict a ratchet girl will react. And
as a little irrational.
There's a small explosion, and then she gets kicked off the show.
Yeah.
That's the show. That's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone knows that, and they've re-engineered that several times.
Yeah.
And I tip my hat off to them because they said, we in it for the bag, and they making the bag. Shout out.
A big bag.
In a real way. Now, one thing I'm not going to do on screen is something I don't do in my personal life.
Yeah.
I ain't going to kick the hoe out.
You
can always go because that door can go two ways. Yeah. You can always go. Yeah. But what I'm actually trying to example is how you deal with women in real life.
Yes.
And when you see me talk to these women on the podcast, which truth be told, they're not generally women that I would hang out with or date in real life. I might max them out, Jeremy, on a Friday, Saturday night, needed in my life, but I'm not going to hang out with these particular personalities. But you know, when you see me on there, it's like activate Dr. Phil mode. You heard me? You see me show you the kind of finesse, leadership, guidance, and calmness that a man should exhibit. We're not going to yell back and forth. If you get out of your body, I'm going to help you get back in it calmly.
Absolutely.
I'm going to help you see the error of your thinking. Or if I know you can't see that, I'm going to help you get to a point where we can have some level of peace between us, because you won't always agree.
Yes.
So I'm exampling, how do you live with a woman? How do you talk to a woman in your family? How do you get a woman to see your way? And that is the romance that you're going to observe in my show. How do you game her up? And here's another thing, not to say too much, but, you know, like some people put on shows, you know, they paying the broads to show up and all this extra stuff. Ain't nobody got a penny. All mine show up. You hear me? They show up because they know Jabrizi or they know Marquett. They showing up because of that, or it's a mutual friend. And then after that, you know, niggas slanging dick out here because we really live like that.
That's a fact.
So it's not like you got a stage situation where we paying chicks, and that's another reason. Twofold, which is number one, these are women we know in real life. These are not strangers.
Absolutely.
And they are connected to our network. We're going to show respect. Because we're respectful men. And then secondly, Saint City is a community. And these women, even though they might not follow the ism, they going to respect it, and they going to know it's Saint City, and they going to know they going to yell peace to the saints when they see one of my folks.
Absolutely.
And they going to know how we live and how we get down. They're in my city. I'm not going to create a bad situation. We want to build community. And so that's a totally different vibe. And so the real question that has been asked is, and these are among psychopaths, like, hey, you copy the Fresh and Fit show. I clearly said in a live, that motto is brilliant. I've tried to copy it in a way that works for me. I have tried to copy it in a way that works for me. And as a businessman, one thing I teach is success leaves clues. If somebody's selling a product and it's going like hotcakes, figure out what they do and copy it and try to do it better. And I tell Fresh and Fit, like, brother, man, I'm trying to do what y'all do, man. I'm trying to do it better than you do it. You dig? So there's no apology there. That's business, and I am a capitalist, and I want every man to be a good hustler. And then the last piece to it is like, man, I got to stop doing a show like that because I can't even deal with them personalities. Like, them boys got some serious patience. Like, I don't want to hear hoes yell at each other for an hour. You know, like, I don't want to. And also, at some level, our core audiences are a little bit different. Like, my core audience is, they like information. They like logic. They like being exposed to new things. They like learning how to earn. So that's not my core audience, but we do it for entertainment to reach a broader spectrum.
Of course.
So, you know, that's a reasonable question, but real hustlers, they don't get into the petty feminist. You copy their mom, bruh. Absolutely. And I tell you what, if I thought that they were making money based on Fresh and Fit or Fresh's outfit, I'd have showed up wearing a chain that said Fresh. I'd have showed up wearing a chain that said Fresh.
Not facts.
Because I'm a business guy and I'm going to figure out what's working because I have a greater goal, which is spreading this ism, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. But one thing I'll never do, I will never compromise my integrity. Like you mentioned, Destiny said, well, hey, I needed money. They offered me a lot of money. You can control a human being based on greed, based on sex.
Absolutely.
And based on fear.
Absolutely.
That's how you control a human being, greed, sex, or fear.
Absolutely.
I know that very clearly, and I've used those things sometimes. I cannot be controlled by those things. I was born into this world poor. I'm willing to go back.
Absolutely.
Money has never made me. I'll go back to being poor. I've not been a greedy person. Sex, when you have something in abundance, it has low value.
As a fact.
And I ain't never been scared like Bone Crusher.
That's a fact.
I ain't never scared. I can't be controlled. Everything I've done is for principles, and it's been hyper clear through my whole life. It's been consistent. You're not going to find anybody say he's a snitch, a rat, a liar, a double crosser, a two-facer. No. You'll find some people say he's an asshole, but he'll tell you the truth, and he going to stand on it.
That's a fact, man. Now, listen, man, for part 2, like, we already got the drama.
They got everything.
Right. Yeah. But for part 2, man, I want to dive deep into the actual ism. You feel me?
They need it.
Right, but no. So, like, we're going to do that really, really, really soon, right?
Man, you're talking about ism, man. Right? I want you to know the Saint, he's the coolest, sharpest, YouTuber and podcast.
You and Sharp would make a dynamic duo.
Understand me, church. Listen to me, loved one. The saint, he's the one.
Yo, love y'all, man. Yo, listen, man. So, like, last question is, where can they find the book? Right. But the product.
Appreciate it.
Like, where can they find everything? You feel me?
Absolutely. So, the book is called The Black Box. You can find that on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's had only 5-star reviews. There were some psychotic Destiny fans that went on to knock it down.
Nah, that's wild.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Nah, that's wild.
But they can find that book. It's a masterwork that I took 10 years to write. It's not something I put out to make money.
Yeah,
People in business know that books, if you've been wealthy, books don't make money. There's low profit margins. But it's a masterwork that is going to make you reflect on yourself and how you can get to the next level.
Yeah.
And it also reads like a movie because I wrote it for people who don't read. Because most people don't read.
Yeah.
So you can get the book called The Black Box. I think that'll be most helpful to people. If you want exclusive content, in excess of 300 videos, pure game, you heard me, ism. But the most important thing about mine, because I really live like this, when you get to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/thesaintandthesinner, spelled out, patreon.com/thesaintandthesinner. When you get to mine, you might hear a recording of a conversation with a broad. Like,
wow.
You want to figure out how to break a broad down from the mouthpiece without raising your voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear that.
Yo, that's exclusive game right there.
Bruh, I'm telling you, or I tell you, I got a series called Player Stories. You heard me? I might be in Mykonos. You heard me? Might be in Monaco and do some real playerific. I break down that story, tell you how to really get it done.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of things that are highly experience based. I also have something called the Dr. Phil process.
Oh, wow.
You dig? Where it gives you actual questions to ask the girl to understand who she really is.
Yeah.
Not who she's pretending to be, but who she really is. And because cats, what they really want is influence over that female. You'll never get control, but you want influence. And that'll teach you how to get the ultimate influence over that female. Yeah. And we got a lot of content. If you go to thesasn.com, you can get the conference footage where I teach you how do you take $500 and create a prototype of a product and start making money today.
Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah, and it's not, you got a lot of internet scammers who, I'm not going to get into it, but you got a lot of internet scammers, but I'm a guy who took $500, created a product, and went to the moon with it. So I'm telling you something that I know, but more importantly, you can go on any one of my live streams and say, hey, who's made money messing with the Saint?
A gang of niggas.
And that's the difference. And the most important part, generally when you hear people selling their course or whatever I don't have a course, but selling whatever they sell, they're selling it to make money for themselves.
Absolutely.
I'm selling it to make money for you because I'm not making money on YouTube. I'm catching L's on YouTube, you did. But I really do believe in capitalism because to be honest with you, I was born poor and poverty is a vicious thing.
Absolutely.
I hate poverty and I truly believe that if we can get people out of poverty as a start, then we can start to build good things on top of that. Because when people are in poverty, they'll steal from you, they'll lie to you, they'll kill you. If we can get you out of that, then we can bless you with some ism. And that's why capitalism is a core part of what I do.
Man, facts, man. Listen, man, the Saint and the Sinner, the big homie, man, just came and blessed y'all with damn near 2 hours, right? 2 hours of listen.
Y'all could drop out of college. You don't even need college now. They didn't. We good.
Yo, listen, man. And before we go, I hope y'all don't take this interview for granted. Like, bruh, there are Ivy League universities paying this man for his fucking time, man. I hope you niggas watch this shit, but watch this shit with keen ears.
And a notepad.
Right. And part 2 is going to be more dynamic where like we're actually going to give him game. You feel me? Right? So listen, man, no jumper, coolest podcast in the world. We're out of here, folks. Peace out, man.